Hey guys, so today's card I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn Here We Go Waddling stamp set, which I've stamped and coloured and then used my brother scan and cut to cut them out. So it's just simple colouring with some Copic markers. I then have a piece of, I believe this is Pool Party Stampin' Up! Cardstock and Bermuda Bay for the base card. And I just used a Cuttlebug embossing folder called Tiny Bubbles, I believe. It just kind of looked like snow for me, because I think because they were just all these irregular bubbles that I just thought, oh, that might make a nice snowy backdrop. But you don't have to do this. If you've got a stamp, you can always stamp the snow in the background, and that would work just fine. But I also like these colours together. I thought these were really nice colours to put together for a snowy backdrop. So this die is just on some white cardstock, and it is the stitched tree borders, and I just lined them up so that I've got a high enough, so they're high enough on the back of the inside of the card, and I just basically stuck them in there. When you're sticking them in, just lift your card up so that it doesn't, so that when you close the card you're not folding that piece over as well, so that it lines up nicely, so that when you fold it you're just folding the card in half, like you would normally do. So for this one there's a lot of little folds on this, a lot of score lines, and this is the Stitched Hillside pop-up die from Lawn Fawn. These are all Lawn Fawn dies and stamps, and I'm going to show you a few times how to fold it forward, but Lawn Fawn have a really good video on how to do that, so if you wanted to check that out for more detail. But basically the two little tabs here I'm putting some adhesive on, and then that wider panel at the bottom I'm going to stick into the base of the card, and then I will show you a couple times, I believe, how to fold those pieces forward so that your pop-up works properly. If you fold them wrong it won't pop up properly, and you'll find that out. So it's worth checking out their video, or hopefully this explains enough. So that base piece is going to fold straight into the where the score line is, but not, again, you want to leave a little bit of space, tiny bit of space, just so that when you fold it again you're not folding that piece over again. Otherwise it's just too much bulk. So here hopefully you can see how we've folded that. So you're going to fold that little one in and fold both flaps down for both pieces, and now I'm just going to get the tape off the back of there's a tiny little score line there, and that's where you'll stick your tape, and I've used a strong adhesive here. You want something strong. Wet adhesive would be good, but you have to be careful not to put too much on there, otherwise it will ooze out and then you will basically glue your card shut. So just be aware of that. But yeah, just as you've folded them into place, and then fold your card down, it will then pop up just like that. So it looks more complicated than it is. Honestly, it's really easy. So hopefully that's been enough of a guide so that you have an idea of how to put that pop-up together. And because I'm doing this on the inside of the card, the outside of the card I'm actually going to leave really, really simple. I think if you've got all this work on the inside, I mean, you can put loads of stuff on the outside if you want to. That's not an issue. You go for it. It's it's your creation. But I just thought that there's so much going on the inside. It's a bit of a surprise for whoever gets the card, because on the outside it'll be quite plain and simple, and they'll be like, okay, that's lovely, but it's not, not particularly exciting. And then they'll open it and they'll find this on the inside, and I just think it makes such a good impact on someone. It's a nice surprise. So again, with the all the little penguins and the lamps, couple of things. When you're gluing them down, whichever adhesive you decide to do, if it's wet adhesive, be careful, because you obviously don't want to put too much glue on there and it oozes out and you stick your card together. And two, even if you've just got tape on there, just be aware of where your tape is sitting and only put the tape where it's going to stick to the actual card. So in other words, the 3 in the background, I only put tape on the bottom near their feet, so that the top half where their hats are, there's nothing at the back there. Otherwise, when you close the card, you're going to stick your card together. So you obviously don't want to do that. So I've made sure that I did that with all of them, and that way they'll just pop up nicely. So I'm just like, on this guy, he's mostly going to be covered anyway, so I can cover pretty much all of him to put him in there. I'm also going to add a bit of sparkle to these guys, just to add another little something. The other thing I was going to say about the lampposts, or anything that you've got that's going to be quite tall, just sort of do a little practice run, even if it's with some temporary adhesive, or don't stick your adhesive down too much, because you want to make sure that whatever's tall enough is not going to, when you close your card, is not going to stick out your card like the lampposts. So just be aware of that as well. And I love this sentiment. These are Lawn Fawn inks, and the first one was chili pepper, and this is black licorice, and I just love it. It says it's penguining, I can't say it, to look a lot like Christmas, and I thought that was so funny. So I've just added some music notes to that as well. And that's basically the inside of the card. But isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. Anyway, so for the outside, I've actually got some just a piece of white cardstock and an EK Success border punch. I've had this thing for so long, so I thought I'd grab it and use it for this. I also grabbed the little, it's like a little metal embellishment. It's I think it's a Stampin' Up snowflake. I think that's what it's from Stampin' Up. And because it's metal, you need to use a very strong adhesive to stick it. So tape probably wouldn't work very well. A glue dot might work, but I'd say a strong wet adhesive. So I'm going to use some Ranger multi-medium adhesive, and it took a little while, but it properly stuck. So it hasn't come off, and I made this in January, I think. So, and I'm also going to stick some of the this is also a Stampin' Up product from ages ago. It's a washi tape, but it's like a glitter paper washi tape. It's very, very sparkly, so I just decided to stick some of that on there. And I'll just add a bit more adhesive there, just so it helps to stick it, because anything with glitter or like a metal embellishment kind of thing, it's going to be harder to stick things to it or on top of it. So in hindsight, a wet adhesive all round probably would have been better, because it would have stuck really, really well. But this worked. And I've grabbed the cards out today to do this, and they're still stuck and okay, so it seems to work fine. So this is the multimedia matte adhesive, and like I say, it did do the trick. It worked pretty well, but you have to have a little bit of patience, because you're sticking a metal embellishment onto glitter, and that's sometimes just a little bit tricky. So just have a bit of patience with it. I'm not very patient with this stuff. I kind of want it to stick and just bond with the paper, and it doesn't always do that. So but yeah, you'll see it does want to move quite a bit, and it still looks like it's moving around and stuff, but it honestly, it's stuck really well now, so it ain't going nowhere. So I'm just gonna try and get that on there. And now I've got some Nouveau White Blizzard glitter drops, and they are so cool for like Christmassy stuff, because it's just like a clear, shimmery, glittery, snowy kind of thing. You could use it all year, of course you could, but I think for something like Christmas stuff, it works so well. So I'm putting it all over the little guys' hats. You could easily put this all over the snow, in the background. You could even put some of the snow you could use some actual like wet adhesive and some sparkly glitter, and do that before you stick all the white pieces in. But there you go. It's such a cute card, and it turned out better than I thought it would. And I just think it's a nice surprise on the inside to put something like that together for someone. And I love the colours. I love red and like turquoise together for Christmas. I think it's so beautiful. So yeah. So I hope you like this, guys, and happy Christmas in July. So I'm starting early for a change. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.